Hey everyone, welcome to the Turnbuckle Tavern Smackdown recap show. I am Sneed.
And it is now time to turn your attention to Anthony of the Titantron Podcast. Sneed, how are you doing, my man?
Good, man. I know people are expecting to see the staple when they tune in, but the staple is on assignment somewhere else. So
we put him on location over in Chicago.
I decided to jump on and watch SmackDown. Now it's no secret that WWE SmackDown thing, that's not really my forte. So I did watch the episode, and it's the first time I've watched SmackDown in a full episode of SmackDown in quite some time.
So when was the last time that you watched like a full episode of SmackDown? I would love to hear this.
Honestly, last time I watched a full episode of SmackDown, it's probably been 2 or 3 years.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, a lot has changed since 2 or 3 years. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to talking with you about everything. And, we'll run through some Summerslam predictions more on the SmackDown side, because those are really where the more interesting matches are happening anyways. Right. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. But I think we should address the elephant in the room.
Yeah, elephant in the room. I'm going to bring up some comments here. We got to CM Punk. It's Friday. You know what that means. Wait, there was SmackDown. SmackDown.
And we don't blame you. We don't blame you for bringing it up.
We get it. I'm an AEW guy. We know this, but stick around after this. We are all SmackDown tonight. So yes. We know that it's a big deal. We know that there was a lot. There's a lot to uncover and a lot to talk about with the other show. And there will be another show after we finish up. We'll be going live after Tom and Mike get back from the United Center. So
absolutely. We got 2 hours of great podcasting coming your way, but the first hour, let's talk about the Blue brand for a little bit, because that's my specialty, I guess, for better or for worse. So
if I'm going to do it with anybody, I was excited to do it with you because I know this is your show.
Thank you very much. I mean, this is like our first time like one-on-one. So, I might as well walk you through the Blue brand a little bit. So let's get right into it. Let's get right into it.
This is the go home tomorrow SummerSlam, right?
Yeah, tomorrow SummerSlam, special Saturday event. So, this was throwing all your eggs in one basket on this one. And for the most part, I would say that they did a pretty decent job hyping up the show.
Yeah, I mean, this was my thing. I thought there would be more. I almost felt like they didn't do a lot of build up. Like, and I know we'll get into it, but the one glaring thing to me was that we had no Sasha Banks on here with the Bianca Belair build up.
Right.
So that was a little strange to me. Now I loved, there were a couple buildups that I absolutely loved, but that one was a little glaring to me that we had no Sasha.
Well, from last week, it was the whole storyline of Sasha kind of aligned herself with the two women that Bianca fought tonight, Carmella and Zelina, which was very weird because they've been fighting for months. So, WWE logic. But apparently the rumor was that, Bianca versus Sasha might not even be happening tomorrow. Tom said it right there. They haven't been doing the matches at the live events. It's usually been Bianca versus Sasha, and they've just missed the live events. So it's completely up in the air what's going to be happening for tomorrow. But they
definitely sold it like it's happening tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a late minute decision. Maybe they'll see what's going on there, but who knows really what's going to happen at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, they really hyped up a lot of other matches really well tonight, especially with this first segment that we can get right into, and it's with the Edge promo. And man, whenever Edge just sits in the ring with a chair right in the ring with a spotlight, you know that you are going to get such a great promo.
I've always been a huge Edge fan. I mean, and the moment he came back at the Rumble, like, that was special. And the one note that I have in here is that Edge can sell a promo just by breathing.
Absolutely.
Just by his breathing, man.
He just brings so much realism too. And I think that's such a big thing with him, is that whenever he speaks, and this goes for any promo since his return, or obviously before he just brings so much realism. And I think that's such a big thing, especially needed in WWE, is just that real factor of you believe what he's saying every time he gets on the mic.
Yeah, and I agree with that because there's a lot of promos that I've watched. Like I said, I haven't watched full episodes, but I've watched promos, and a lot of it seems scripted. A lot of it seems not believable. But this Edge is, I mean, he's believable, like super believable.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a master on the mic. He's one of the best. I mean, every time that he comes out on SmackDown nowadays, it's the largest pop. And, this tonight was no different. And it was smart starting off the show with him just because of how big the reaction always is. And man, it was just a really great way to start off the show. I think we have a comment right here. I heard from a friend in the business that Sasha tested positive last week. That's not 100% confirmed. But he heard it from someone who used to be there.
Wow. I mean, if that's the case, speedy recovery. I hope that's not the case. I hope it's not bad, and I hope she recovers soon. That really sucks.
Yeah, health always comes first, but I'm really hoping that, everything does pan out smoothly and we do get the rematch because, man, I'm looking forward to that match if it does happen.
Yeah, I love anything. Like, Sasha's so good, man. She's so good.
She's improved so much, especially with this heel turn, just this recent, the blue hair and everything. Ever since she got that blue hair, it's just been this new Sasha Banks, and she's been killing it. But yeah, I mean, moving on from that first segment, we go right into a pretty solid match between Rey Mysterio and Jey Uso. They gave them some good time, and it kind of built up the story. Rey and Dominic have kind of been teasing a breakup, kind of. Dom's like the younger kid trying to just whatever, and Rey's more of like the adult like figure. So even tonight kind of further that story. What did you think of the match, and what do you think about a potential Rey and Dominic split? Do you think it works?
It's wild to me that they would tease that the dissension in the family like that, but I really like one thing that's never changed is the smoothness of Rey Mysterio, man.
Oh yeah.
That guy, he's just a professional, and everything he does, every move he does is just smooth. Like he has been doing it for over 30 years, but the way he does it, it's so good. I think that the way that they did this with Dominic, it's just, he's so green, and Rey's just trying to teach him the ropes, and he's almost not learning. So
yeah, absolutely. Like you hit the nail right on the head. 2021 Rey Mysterio is the same to me as, 2005 Rey Mysterio fighting for the custody of his son. He's just the same. He hasn't missed a beat. And I'm sure it's just been a dream for him, like, working with his son, being in a tag team, winning the titles. And now, what left is there to do for Rey Mysterio than to have a match with his son? And I feel like if they're going in this route, maybe that's like hinting at a potential retirement run for Mysterio, because like I said, he's won everything that he needs to win. He tag teamed with his son. What else is there to do than to have the match with Dominic?
I mean, that's a great way. And I can see it being a lot of fun to have him, put his son over. What a feeling that is as a dad, to put your son over and let him get the win. I think
absolutely,
that's a lot of fun, man. One thing, this is something too. So the match at SummerSlam is the Usos versus them for the titles, right?
Yes.
So that's one it's just a problem that I have to see the match. It's almost seeing the match before the match. I just want to see build up, and I don't know, but the way they did this was good though. And Mysterio, I like the way they did it. They just caused dissension to it, and it is going to bring more heat to the match, I think.
Yeah, I mean, well, even before that, we've seen this match already. That's where the Usos won the title, so it's already a rematch. But that's why I was kind of hoping that we were going to see a stipulation to this match. I feel like starting off SummerSlam with a ladder match between the Mysterios and the Usos would just be a perfect way to kick things off, because we don't have a lot of stipulation matches to the show. So I feel like that would have been like an ideal situation to kind of add fuel to the fire on this feud. But I mean, we're just going to get the typical match.
Yeah, give me Rey in a ladder match any day too, man.
Oh man, I mean, I need to see Rey in one more ladder match before, if we're gonna get this retirement or not. Just one.
Obviously, he still has it. So
100%. We saw that tonight. But moving on to someone who doesn't have it, and as in doesn't have it, I mean anything materialistic possessions, and that's broke Baron Corbin.
My man doesn't even have an entrance song.
Oh my god. They on Raw, I think they messed up in that they played his theme song for 5 seconds and then they cut it off because this whole thing is now he doesn't have a theme song. But someone said on Twitter, maybe he only paid for he was only able to pay for 5 seconds of his theme song and he wasn't able to pay for the rest.
That's good.
So great. I mean, we had a match tonight with Corbin and Kevin Owens. Last week, I think, was a much better match, more drawn out, but this week was more story driven because now we have Corbin stealing the Money in the Bank briefcase from Big E, which I wonder if you steal the briefcase, does that mean that you're in possession of it and now you can cash in? Like, how does this work?
That was my question was, if he has this briefcase, Big E's won the shot. So is the contract in the briefcase in his name?
Well, my thing that I kind of draw a comparison to was on SmackDown a few weeks ago. It was originally set to be Roman versus Finn, and they were having a contract signing, but then Cena signed his name on the contract, and all of a sudden Cena's in the match. So maybe if Corbin signs the contract,
didn't Corbin come out and try to hijack that too, though?
He did. So, Corbin could have had a Universal title match and a Money in the Bank contract. But right now he still has the contract. Who knows if broke ass, bald, bad hair Baron Corbin. I love that he's grown his hair out, but it's never going to be to the length that it once was. It's just that little.
Hey, look, man. As somebody that shaves their head, I can attest that that's a tough thing to do to grow it out and have people. Which I mean, they're paying him a lot of money to do it. If I did it, I'd just look homeless. But yeah.
Oh man, what did you think of this match and the shenanigans that happened after?
Well, one thing I've always loved is Kevin Owens, man. That guy, as a big man, like to see him do the senton bomb off the apron, and when he does it in the corner, it's always one of my favorites. I love Kevin Owens. We got kind of a schmoz finish with Big E coming out, and so. Do they have a match at SummerSlam? Is that confirmed? Are they doing that?
They don't. Corbin's kind of just been like flipping around the card. He had a match with Balor. He's doing all this stuff, and now he steals a briefcase, but none of them are on the card, which I think is very interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting to have them have that spot where he takes the briefcase back, and then Corbin steals it back from him. I feel like they have to do something at SummerSlam with that.
And it's weird because you already have like 10 to 11 matches on the card. So unless they are planning to put all 10 on the main card and do one on the pre-show, I don't know. That seems like a lot, especially for the pay-per-views that we've been getting that are more like 7 or 8 matches. So interesting that they would go that route. But yeah, I agree with you. Kevin Owens is great. There will be shenanigans. Honestly, who's to say that Corbin might even be involved in the main event with Roman and Cena? Maybe there's some shenanigans. I don't think he'll cash in, obviously, but who knows? Maybe he'll cash in or something.
That'd be wild if he cashes in. Like if Cena wins and he cashes in on Cena.
Oh man, I would love to see.
What are you doing, man?
But yeah, I mean, Kevin Owens is great. Like I said, the match was a little better last week, but this kind of just progresses the story. But moving on, we had another tag team match, our first tag team match of the night, and that was between the tag team champions over on the women's side, Natalya and Tamina, losing to Shotzi and Knox. So this is where I do my little rant on the night because I don't understand what WWE is doing, as I normally don't, with these championship contenders matches, because these two teams had a championship contenders match the first night that Shotzi and Knox came to SmackDown, and they won. So automatically they're contenders for the titles. Right. Moving on, weeks past, we've only had like singles matches between the two. So maybe we'll get the match at SummerSlam. They don't confirm anything. Tonight, we have the match again, and it's a championship contenders match. Shotzi and Knox win, and the announcers are putting it over like it's this huge upset. Meanwhile, we've seen Shotzi and Tegan Knox win multiple times against Tamina and Natalya. So what is the upset here?
Yeah, that's what I didn't understand that either, because when they were leaving, Shotzi and Knox were doing 3. Like it's the third time they beat them.
Yeah.
What a way to book your champions right before a big pay-per-view. You beat your champions?
I mean, not only that, but what a way to book them in a division that has only 2 teams, including your champions.
Right. That's so crazy, man. Like, it just seems wild that there's no other contenders and they're booking it to where the champs are getting beat like that.
Oh my God. It's so crazy. I mean, the match itself was solid. I didn't really care for it because I've seen it 3 times already, but it's good that they're giving Shotzi and Knox a run here. But yeah, this was Natty's first match from injury. And they lose again. So maybe we'll see something at SummerSlam. Again, the card is so stacked that I don't know where they would fit on here, but who knows?
Pat McAfee mentioned that Natty was out, 3 weeks ago with surgery, and she's back now?
Yeah, she had a match with Eva Marie and Dewdrop, and I think she got injured. She had surgery, and now she's back.
That's crazy to be competing like that right out of surgery.
It's unbelievable. I hate the whole. Yeah, me too, man. It gives us more rematches, and it means you always have the week in the champions. I mean, that just goes to show you the current state of not just the tag team women's division, but just all the divisions, because they are doing this championship contenders match for every championship. And it just makes the champion. Sheamus loses to Damian Priest on Raw in a championship contenders match. And now we have to see it again, which I'm sure will be a good match, but we already seen it. Now we're going to see it again at SummerSlam. What is the point to see it again?
Yeah, I don't understand that. And if you're having championship contenders match, why don't you have 2 people fight for the contendership to go?
Exactly.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know. I can't believe that we're at a point where you just don't have a division and all you have is your champions and 1 contender for the title. It's mind-blowing.
Well, you have to beat the champion to have a shot at beating the champion.
That's what I thought, but we did this 4 weeks ago, and the challengers beat the champions, and we're doing this again. It's unbelievable. It's mind-blowing. But anyways, let's move on. Enough talk about the women's tag team titles. It's now time to start to go back to number. Yes, it makes too much sense. Agreed. But now it's time to talk about something good. And in my opinion, and you might agree with me, the best segment on the night, well and away. Seth Rollins comes out and cuts this promo in his white suit, a similar suit to that I wore at my 2nd grade communion, all white. All white. Just talking about Edge, and then the lights go out.
And we hear it. Now this was a huge throwback for me.
Hell yeah.
The Brood was always one of my favorites. And it would have, if only Gangrel had come out. But
I was hoping for that one.
If I would have loved to have had Edge on the screen like he was on there, and then Gangrel, come out and either pull the lever, do something to get the black blood or whatever it was on him.
I thought it's just so cool that we've entered a stage now where Edge is even referring to the Brood.
Oh, Seth Rollins owns Bleat. He's going to have something to get it out of that. Man.
Ringside, they were already bringing him towels like right after it happened. So, I mean,
they got over on everybody in the front row. Too.
Yeah, I saw that. I would hate to be in the front row for that.
Because I could see the black stuff on the barrier, and then I saw people wiping it off. I was like, oh man.
I think the one thing that took away from this segment was that they didn't refer to it as the bloodbath. And it was a very deeper shade of, like, it was kind of red, but it was more like a very dark maroon. So I think they even called it like a brood bath. So they were doing everything they could to not refer to it as that. But like, we all knew that it was like the bloodbath, like it's a brood thing.
We know what it is.
Yeah, but oh my God, such a good visual. I think the white suit and just him being drenched in the blood, dark maroon stuff, whatever. Such a good visual.
You want to know what this did for me?
Mm-hmm.
It made me want to watch the match.
Hell yeah. Not just that, but the opening segment, they did such a great job to hype up this match. And just when I thought that I had like a good fitting for the match after the Edge promo, they do this shit. And I'm like, I'm so ready to see this match.
Yeah, this made me like, And before this, I had no build up for it. I had no interest in it. And
Absolutely.
then just those 2 segments solid. Like I'm going to watch this match now.
I mean, it was already the most anticipated match on the card. It's probably going to be the best in-ring match, but now you've added another layer of story that Edge is now going into a deeper place that he was saying, or
deoxygenated blood. That's very scientific, John.
Hey man, bring it into the story. If it makes sense, it makes sense. Why not? But
Boney Khan with the science in here.
It's only Boney, but
I love the name that Michael Cole gave, which maybe he's been calling him this, but they called Seth Rollins the Visionary of Drip.
I actually didn't catch that. I know that Seth has been mentioning his drip, but I didn't know that they were catching on to this. I figured they wanted to save that for Morrison, but who knows? I guess everyone's got drip.
I mean, the suits that he was wearing in the previous promos they were showing were. I mean, they were pretty drippy.
He's got some great suits, but
I loved it, man.
Yeah, this was such a great segment. Like you said, it gets me hyped to see this.
And they need to do like that. The matches that they did, like the Dominic thing, like it was cool, but they need to do more of this build up like this,
right?
To tell a story. I mean, a match. I mean, it's gonna get you excited, I guess, but not excited like these promos, man.
Yeah, I hear you, and I think it's just so great that their whole feud, they haven't beaten each other up or touched at all. So he's a chemist.
He's a cat, yeah. So that's the thing, man. Like, I don't think you should have if you're gonna have a match like that, don't have them touch before the match.
Right.
It builds so much anticipation.
Absolutely.
That's why, not to bring AEW into it ever, but as a small comparison, when Kenny Omega and Hangman were doing the thing when they had the match with Dark Order, I was like, man, I really don't want to see Kenny and Hangman touch, but now they're not doing the match, so it kind of makes sense. But
yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a great comparison. And for all of you AEW fans, stick around after this episode and check out what we have to say about Rampage. I'm getting an Amber Alert, and I forgot to turn off my phone. So let me. We have a storm surge here. Oh my God, why is it still going? Okay, sorry about that. We have a storm surge warning is in effect for the area. Who knows? Whatever.
Well,
when in New York. But anyways, let us move on.
Edge's facial expressions get better as he ages. Dude looked mean. I loved how they zoomed into his face and only had his eyes as he was looking down.
So good. Such a good visual.
I've been referring to Seth Rollins.
The visionary. Oh, man. Excellent stuff. Let's move on to a not so great segment because we have the Alpha Academy, Otis, going up against Montez Ford. I don't know if you've been following this recent gimmick change for Otis, but I know
he doesn't have a beard now.
He doesn't have a beard. He looks like the villain from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Looks like he's trying to steal Pee-wee's bike, man.
Where's my bike? I mean, they're going for a more serious route with Otis. And to a point, it's not horrible. Yeah. I think a more serious Otis definitely makes the mid-card division more interesting. But the thing is, they're not doing anything with him. They keep doing these matches within the tag team division. Meanwhile, you have Otis that you could be building up for at least a mid-card title.
Yeah. And I think that the guy deserves it. I mean, he got himself over so hard when he had the Money in the Bank, and then they took that away from him. I believe Miz got it at that point.
Right.
From him. I mean, I really hated that. I wanted to see them because everybody was behind Otis at that point. Everybody.
I think he was just the right guy in the wrong place. And he was so over, but you look at the champion and it's been Roman for this entire time. So you're not going to have a goofy baby face like Otis cash in Money in the Bank on someone like Roman. It was just never going to happen. But I think that the good thing about turning Otis heel and making him more serious is that now he's a threat. Thank you very much, Boney. I think he's more of a threat to a champion. And with Shinsuke, who we're going to talk about in a few moments, with Shinsuke now as your IC champion, now at least this gives you a challenger for Shinsuke that, you build up these two enough that I'm interested in seeing a match between them.
Yeah, and I would be too, because I think that Otis really, that guy's a brute, man. he hit an elbow on a back elbow on Montez Ford that looked like it connected hard.
Oh yeah, he's definitely been improving. Like just from just a physical standpoint, being in the ring, he's definitely taken it up the notch with this whole Alpha Academy thing. And just one more point that I want to bring on this: what was Montez Ford wearing in this match tonight?
What was that? Like, it was some sort of summer suit or something with
like a swimsuit. He must have forgotten his clothes or something.
I don't know, man. It looked like he was going to a luau or something in Hawaii. I don't know what that was. I mean, he come out. I want to talk about professional. That wasn't really professional, but
yeah. Oh man. But anyways, let's move on. Enough talk about Alpha Academy. And because we're going to move on to name that we just mentioned, Shinsuke Nakamura. He tag teamed with Rick Boogs, Tom's favorite, Rick Boogs. I know that he just loves him so much. And he also loves Apollo Crews with Commander Aziz. And
so Tom, does he not like is that he doesn't like Rick?
He doesn't like Rick. He doesn't like Apollo. Man. I don't get it. For a while, he didn't like Baron Corbin either. So, I mean, maybe this is just Tom being crazy here. But
Tom, if you're watching, like, come on, man. That him yelling out at the beginning that he's for Shinsuke or whatever. That's it. And I guess this was his first match.
Yeah, and he pinned the former champion. What do you think about that?
Well, first and foremost, I love the denim singlet that he was wearing.
Oh, yes.
The denim. I guess
so
it was
great.
Denim print, but yeah, I mean, it seemed a little weird that he would be the one to get the pin.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. I feel like if they're gonna are they gonna push this guy? Like, is he only with Nakamura or?
I think there's a better chance that, this was his first match. He's only with Nakamura as far as, the fans are aware. Yeah. But I think there's more of a chance that this is not necessarily pushing Boogs as it is kind of burying, which is hard to say, but bringing down the totem pole Apollo Crews, because he's been on top. He's had Commander Aziz. He's had the title. Right. He loses in 2 minutes to Shinsuke in a non-title match. Following week, he loses the title to Shinsuke, and now he gets pinned by Shinsuke's guitarist.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes him look weak.
So weak, especially for someone who they were pushing pretty hard around WrestleMania time with this new gimmick.
That's what it seemed like, man. It seemed like from everything I was hearing, he was getting a huge push.
Yeah,
and now it seems like he's maybe pissed somebody off. I don't know.
I hope not. He has a great talent. And I think we also have to mention the first move that Boogs pulls out. He puts Apollo, like he grabs his legs and he starts strumming them like a guitar. Yeah. I thought that was so great, man.
That caught me pretty hard, man. I thought that was pretty wild. And I loved how much Pat McAfee, first of all, Pat McAfee's great on commentary.
Yes.
I really enjoyed listening to him on commentary. I love how much he gets into it. I love when they pan over and he's standing in his chair.
He has done that ever since he has started on SmackDown. He is always standing up, dancing to Nakamura's seat.
Yeah, well, even in a couple of other matches, I see him standing up. Like,
yes, that too. He's always standing up, which I think is so great.
That's so awesome, man. Like it really should. Which I know he has a passion. He's always had a passion for professional wrestling.
Oh yeah,
but on commentary, he's really good. I've never really been a big fan of Michael Cole, but he makes it a little bit better.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think even Michael Cole, he's been doing some pretty good work, but I think it's because he's paired up with someone like McAfee, and I think they go really well off each other. And it's led to a pretty good commentary team, and I think that's also what enhances SmackDown is the good commentary. Because you look at Raw, they don't have a great commentary team with Corey Graves and Byron Saxton. If it does anything, it brings back from the impact of the show altogether. The Tavern approves of Boogs. I love it. Chad
says push him. Look, I'm all about it. I didn't really know. I knew that there was somebody that played guitar for him, but I didn't know he did the squeal, and I didn't know he screamed Nakamura like that.
Oh, it's so great. Moving on, let's talk about this Bianca Belair nonsense. She had 2 matches back to back. Poor Zelina Vega. I mean, she comes back. She has not won a big match ever since her return. She loses probably in I don't know the time on it, but probably in 2 minutes, clean to Bianca. Quick, very quick, too quick for someone like Zelina. Yeah. And then, moving on, Carmella, we have another match with them too. These two will never stop fighting. They've had like 15 matches within the last few weeks of SmackDown. We need to get over this already. But this really just felt like a filler because, like we mentioned, Sasha wasn't there. So.
So the format of the match, Zelina and Carmella came out together. They're not a team together. So
they came out with Sasha last week because they had a contract signing, which is very strange because Sasha has feuded with Carmella and Zelina already on SmackDown. That was their first match. Sasha's first match after her return was in a tag team match with Bianca against the two. It doesn't make sense to me how Zelina and Carmella, who have been in the title picture for a while, would align themselves with Sasha, who now just puts herself at the front of the line. That's WWE booking for you. But as far as last week is concerned, now they are like a loose trio, I guess.
Yeah, okay. It just seemed weird. Like the whole thing, the one match after another, and it just seemed thrown together almost.
Yeah, it was very rushed. I don't think it really did anything to increase the interest level for this Sasha Bianca match, if it's happening at the end of the day.
Yeah, I saw Tom posted earlier. He said Becky is coming back.
I wouldn't be. I don't think anyone would be opposed to that. But I wonder that's true. I wonder what they will do because you have to think that match would have taken at least anywhere from 16 to 20 minutes. So what are you going to do to fill up that time besides just adding time to other matches?
There was Becky returns. So that's a hell of a way to make. To make SummerSlam a hit if you're going to do it. That's a big moment to have.
Absolutely, especially after what we just saw tonight. Stay tuned to hear more about it after the SmackDown show. But anyways, moving on. Enough cheap promos for the Tavern. Let's move on.
I just had word from the back that Tom and Mike are back home.
Oh, beautiful. And I will be on to talk some Rampage as well, so long as the Tavern approves. But I figure
you know what that makes us though, right?
What does that make us?
It makes us the Rick Rudes of the Tavern.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
we show up on Nitro, then we come right back on Raw.
This is great. Oh man.
Yep.
But let's stay on this final segment because we had another promo war to close out the SmackDown with Roman and Cena. Cena has been saying that all it takes is 1, 2, 3. That's like his catchphrase now, to pin Roman. And we have some interesting stipulations added to this match. If Roman loses, he is leaving WWE. I don't know about you, and maybe this is a very complete opposite prediction of what should be happening, but if anything, this makes me think that Cena's chances of winning are even higher. Because Roman, maybe this is his chance to take time off. Yeah. Now you allow Cena to have the title. If he's going to do the movies, carry it around with him, come back, do some matches, put over some talent. Maybe this is a chance for Cena to get the title, and this makes it 10 times more interesting.
Yeah, to add that stipulation, that was honestly a little shocking to me that he came out and said that was going to be the stipulation.
Yeah,
he was going to leave WWE. Is Roman Reigns all elite? Just kidding. Just kidding. It's probably not happening.
Probably not.
But yeah, for him to say that he's going to leave WWE, that's because I really feel like Cena's winning this.
I think so too. I thought that they were going to do it before the stipulation because I keep saying it. Ric Flair getting released or requesting his release. That's 16 titles. Vince is petty. He will do it. He will 100% give it to Cena. And he'll do it in a way that Roman is protected. Maybe this is the way that they're planning on protecting Roman. If you remember also, I remember I was watching an interview. I believe it was Inside the Ropes. They did a interview with Wade Barrett. And it was talking about SummerSlam 2010. And basically, Wade said that the reason why they put Cena's team over the Nexus was that Vince always likes for SummerSlam to have a happy ending. So I don't know. That hasn't really carried over these last few years, but it just got me thinking, Cena's in the main event once again. Maybe Vince wants a happy ending here.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out if that's what goes down and Cena becomes the 17th. I love the way he put it too. He was like, people think it's the movies that I'm not going to win. He was like, I'm going to win and I'm going to take it. And he basically kind of alluded that he was going to, when he took it, he was going to give Roman that time to think about losing the championship to him.
Right. I mean,
this time he takes a little time off.
I think it's just too good to be 100% that Roman is going to win this. Like, I feel like there's just too many factors that makes it, 100% Roman's going to win and Cena's going to go back to doing movies. Yeah. Sure, Cena can go back and do the movies, but tonight especially makes me think maybe they're going to give it to Cena because Cena's supposed to be at this Madison Square Garden show for Smackdown. I don't know if it's going to be like the dark matches that he's been doing, but he's supposed to be there. So who knows?
I'm going to put my prediction in. I'm going to say that Cena wins.
I'm actually going to do the same. And actually, we got a few minutes before we got to start getting off here to allow the Rampage talk to come in. But let's do some quick predictions for the SmackDown side of things because we have a few matches and, we'll kick things off with the main event. Cena's probably going to win this. I agree with you on this one.
Cena's definitely my choice in this. I think it's time. I enjoy Cena cutting. I love him coming in, cutting promos. And I saw a promo he cut. I loved when he said that Roman Reigns looked like he had bars of soap for teeth.
So great.
That was a good one.
I was so happy when we got this feud because I just remember the 2017 promos between these two. And that was for a match happening at a B-level pay-per-view like Battleground. So I knew that we were going to get equally as great stuff for SummerSlam, and that's exactly what we're going to get. Tyson agrees with us, and Tyson is a Tavern staple. So if Tyson agrees, then it's probably going to happen. Moving on, Usos and Mysterios. Who do you got for that match?
I think the Usos win, and I think Mysterios break up.
Got to agree with you there as well. If any match is going to happen on the pre-show, this might be it. However, the Mysterios splitting up may make this more interesting to put on the main card. So I'll have to agree with you on that. And Bianca versus Sasha, if it takes place, who do you got winning?
Sasha. If it takes place, I have Sasha winning.
I think I gotta agree with you again. It's that WrestleMania rematch bug that, you have one person win at Mania, you have the other person win at SummerSlam, and you have a determined Sasha Banks here. So I got to go with Sasha as well. Let's see, what other matches do we have here? And I believe that it all comes down to the match that we're most anticipated for after this SmackDown, Edge versus Seth Rollins. Who do you got winning that match?
I think Edge whoops his ass, man.
And we are 4 for 4 because I got to agree with you.
Yeah, I think Edge comes in after that promo, that scathing promo he cut on him tonight and making it so personal about his kids. And I think he comes in and I think he gets it.
Yeah. I mean, also you got to look at it like Edge has been losing the last few matches. Dominic turns heel. Yeah. That's what we're saying. Maybe we get the turn there. We got Bianca and he says Edge is also winning. I got to agree. Edge has lost the last few matches that he's come in, lost to Reigns again at Mania. Yeah. I think the only really big match that he's won has been at the Rumble besides the, previous year. But I don't think it makes any sense for him to lose. I think Rollins doesn't need to win this one. And all he needs to do is keep being Mr. SummerSlam and just putting on another great match with Edge. But I do think that Edge is going to win. So we are 4 for 4 on predictions together. So we're in this together. That's
pretty wild, man. I almost didn't expect that, but
yeah, I mean, I would love to see all of those predictions take place, especially Cena. Being a Cena fan, I would love to see him get the title again.
Yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun, man. He's so good on the mic. And I never really appreciate, which we've talked about this many times, but I never really appreciated Cena. Never been the biggest fan of him, but I appreciate what he does now.
Absolutely.
I can appreciate what he's done for the business, what he's done for WWE, and I enjoy listening to him on the mic now.
I think ever since his like 2015 run with the US Open Challenge, I think that's when people started to really appreciate, like, this is John Cena. He's done so much for the business.
Yeah.
And, now, especially with him in this world title picture, who knows? This might be one of the last matches of Cena that we see in the world championship pictures, depending if he wins this tomorrow. But hell, this is the perfect time to appreciate him in the summer of Cena. So,
yeah. And it's crazy to me, but like going to house shows back in, when Cena was really on top and an everyday 100% schedule kind of guy, it was weird to see like at all the house shows. And then when they don't show up, you start thinking it's so crazy that one day you're not going to have these people there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like being a younger fan, growing up with Cena, kind of as like every young fan is a fan of Cena in the 2010s. So not seeing him for so long has just been like, you miss him for a while, and you see him at the Firefly Funhouse match, and you see him everything that he's doing now, and it's like you really just appreciate what you got out of the 2010s. And I'm so much looking forward to this match, just to have Cena in a big time match again in the main event.
Before we leave, I'll tell a little story about Cena. Chad and I were at One Night Stand. I believe it was 2005. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, but it was Cena versus RVD. Cena
2006. Yeah. Oh, you were there. Wow.
Yep. So we were there, and it was, man, what a crowd. We walked in and everybody hated Cena. If Cena wins, we riot, sheets hanging up. And when Cena came out, it was unlike anything he'd ever dealt with. He threw his shirt, it got thrown back to him. But what energy that was. It was a lot of fun. And that really, at the time I really hated Cena, but now I really appreciate what we got to witness.
That's amazing. That is such a great way to cap off today's episode. But before we do so, Sneed, real quick, give me out of 1 to 5, what is your star rating for tonight's SmackDown?
I'm going to give it a 3. I'm going to give it a 3. For the first episode that I watched, it was a lot of fun to jump back in and see what's going on. And of course, they popped me with the old school Brood segment. So.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do the Steiner math for this show. Unfortunately, I didn't do my point system, but I would have to agree with you, around a 2.5 to a 3. I think the matches kind of took me out of it, but everything with the promos from Edge and Rollins and the main event segment, everything all together made this a pretty solid show altogether. So I'm going to have to agree with you. I'll give it a 3 as well.
Awesome. Yeah. Man, it's been a lot of fun jumping in, and I'm glad I took Tom's place tonight.
Hey man, you're always welcome to take Tom's place whenever you feel you're up for watching.
Tom, maybe you've lost your job, Tom. Maybe I'm coming to take your job.
Hey man, when they change the what is it? Just when they think they change, what the fuck is the quote that I'm trying to say? Just when they think they have the answers, Sneed changes the culture.
And look, man, I'm the staple remover.
Ooh. The staple remover.
Look, don't stick around because it's coming up. We have a couple of things to talk about on this Rampage recap.
Yeah, a few big things,
Yeah, there were 3 matches that we'll cover.
Yeah, nothing too crazy, but you definitely want to stick around for this one. Just to hear our voices and the lovely voices here at the Tavern. Stay where you are and get ready for some more live content from the Tavern.
Yep, you'll see us over there. I'll see you over there, Anthony.
I'll see you over there as well.
All right.